Hey everyone, my name is Wiechens. Today I'm going to be sharing my capstone project titled Planpal that I created for the Savvy Coders Full Stack Development Bootcamp. And you can click here and view the code on GitHub. So here is just a quick overview of what I'll be sharing today in my presentation. So who am I? I'm Ray Wiechens. I'm a graphic designer and aspiring front-end developer with 5+ years of design experience. I've designed a variety of print and digital materials like catalogs, brochures, and slide decks for companies within the manufacturing and tech space. I found that I really enjoy designing web pages and email layouts, which is what inspired me to enroll in the Savvy Coders Full Stack Bootcamp. I've previously taken a few web development courses through Coursera and programs called She Codes and Code First Girls. In my free time, I design and sell planner stickers on Etsy. So as we were deciding on what we wanted to create with our capstone, I wanted to incorporate some of my own personal hobbies and interests, which are planning, organizing, and creating and designing stickers. So here's some of the project planning and research that I did for my project. My definition statement: I wanted to build a fun and customizable application that helps users keep track of daily, weekly, and monthly tasks and goals. And so here you can see all the project planning, the user flow chart, and the original concept that I had designed. And if you click these buttons, they will take you to different Figma boards. So now let's jump into the spa. So we start off here on the notes page, which is our home page. I have the Open Weather Map API displayed in the top right corner, and this is set for St. Louis as a location. It also gives a short description of what the weather is outside. Um, and so we also have a greeting, which by default displays guest, and we have a JavaScript function that displays the current day. So if we wanted to update guest to our name, we could navigate to the profile page, and I'm going to enter my name here, click on submit, and now it saves the greeting to my name, and this will just save it for the duration of the session. So if you close out or refresh, it will go back to the default name of guest. So now let's get into the to-do list feature. So let's enter a task. For the to-do list, we could say clean. We'll add that to our list, and it displays at the bottom here. We can also delete a task. So we'll say that we finished our homework. A pop-up will come up here, and it says, do you want to delete this task to homework? We'll click OK, and now it's deleted from our list. The goals feature also works similarly to the to-do list. So we could say a goal is to save money. We'll add that to our goals list, and it will display down here. We can also delete a goal from our list if we've accomplished it, and click OK. And these will all be saved or deleted depending on what you choose to do with the database. So the next view is the weather. So this is a current or a future project I'd like to get to where I could implement the Open Weather Map API and display a weather forecast page. Next, we have calendar, which is a page that's still in progress. Here you can see a calendar for the month, the week, the date. These are the different views. And so you'll be able to click into the day, create a new event here, and it will save your events, and you can see past events. But this is something I still need to continue working on outside of the boot camp. Here I have an about page, and this is just, getting to know me, my interests and hobbies. I also have a contact page with my contact details displayed on the right-hand side. I also have a form on the left-hand side, which I set up through FormSpree. So We'll enter my name. We'll save the message as a test. And then once we submit it, a success window will appear saying that the form was submitted successfully, and then I will get an email. And then if we were to navigate back to the profile page, we could see here that guest has been reset to, or I'm sorry, the greeting has been reset to guest. So also within my application, I have some links here you can click on to connect with me on social media, LinkedIn, stuff like that. So now let's jump back into the wireframes. I really enjoyed this part of the process, creating the different layouts and how the user would interact with the website. So I have my daily, weekly, monthly views. And I would say that the design turned out pretty true to the original concept. You can view all of my wireframes, including mobile wireframes on Figma. So next, I'd like to talk a little bit about the design process. Some of the ideas that I wanted to implement was a layout similar to a dashboard. I wanted to use neutral colors, a handwritten and versatile typeface. I created the logo in Submark and Adobe Illustrator. I created a brand guide with color palettes. And I didn't implement the colors into my project, but I felt like this was always something that I could kind of play with and come back to. The Agile methodology. So as a cohort, we participated in Agile using Jira. We did weekly stand-ups. We went through sprint planning and story pointing, which helped with time management. The second half of the cohort, I served as the product owner, organizing our tasks and backlog items. Now we can jump into third-party and custom APIs. And so my third-party API was the Open Weather Map API, and the custom would be my to-do list and goals list features. So here, let's jump into my index.js file. So in the before hook, we have the weather API displayed in the notes and calendars views, also shown here as cases. And so here's where I implemented the weather app API. One of the most challenging parts of the process for me is what I'm going to get into now, because there are 3 API calls that happen all on the notes page. I had to set up a promise all settled and pass in an array of promises, which are the weather request, to-do request, and goal request. This is used so that it waits for all the promises or operations to execute before displaying the data. For my custom APIs, the to-do list and goal list features, I created functions up here so that whenever they are called in the already and the after hook, I could reduce code by just calling the functions here. Next, I'm going to move on to showcasing some of the database and backend testing. So I have my schemas here. These are both pretty similar. The to-do, we have the goal is set to a string, required is set to true so that the task is automatically saved after clicking the add button on the task list feature. Completed is a Boolean that is by default set to false. The user has to manually delete the item from the list using the X button. We can test the APIs using Thunder Client. So here I set up a post, and we can create a new task list. So we can add the task, Clean Garage. So let's send this to the database. And this is processing. So now if we go back to the application and we go to our notes page, you can see that Clean Garage now displays as a task. So for future updates, I would like to finish the calendar view by allowing the user to create and delete events according to a specific date. I have a theme button set up. This is still something I'm working on. I'd like it so that the user can change the background colors and theme. So if it were winter, you could select a background with snowflakes, and the little icons at the top would change to, snowmen, or if it were fall, it would display a fall background and the icons could change to pumpkins, something that's just a little more customizable. I'd also like to create a weekly forecast page, as mentioned. Um, so before I wrap up, I want to briefly discuss what I found challenging and what I really enjoyed. A lot of the backend programming was completely new to me. As I mentioned earlier, getting all of the APIs to execute on the same page was a bit of a challenge. I was really surprised by how much I liked working on the backend. Setting up the testing, the database and schemas in particular was something I really enjoyed. I also really loved working with the CSS, creating responsive pages, and the form interactions. I'd like to say thank you so much to Savvy Coders for an incredible and positive learning experience. And thank you to you for taking the time to view my presentation.